And we're live.
Hello, hello.
Back again.
It's felt like a while. It's been
the same amount of time, but it feels like an eternity since last week.
I was gonna say you've been out of town for the last couple of days, so
I literally got back into town
30 seconds ago,
like less than 2 hours ago.
Yes.
So, but all is well. I'm more educated than I was when I left town.
Well,
on Sunday.
We all think
so. Everyone's should be grateful for that. So again, welcome back to Tucker and the Beard, and part
dose
of our deep dive into the MCU
that we'll be going through as quickly as possible.
Yeah, listen, by the time this is all over, you should be able to watch these 2 episodes back to back and be relatively on point with the story so far when you go and see Captain Marvel this weekend in theaters.
I am going Friday, so everyone that I see there,
holler to play when you see him on the street. So
let me get the list up. Or you got it?
I've got a list right here. So last week we left off with Chapter 1 of Guardians of the Galaxy, which brings our next film to Chapter 2 of Guardians in the Galaxy. And as a reminder, we are going through the story.
Yes.
In chronological order, not necessarily the films in chronological order. And before we go any further, I'm going to make one quick check of a connection because for some reason it looks a little janky.
All right.
So stand by. You can keep talking.
I will.
And I'm going to go address some technical issues before they become an issue.
I'm going to take this opportunity to, this is A Minute with Tucker. How's it going?
Give a shout out to some of our sponsors.
Yeah. A couple of our sponsors.
Yeah.
Like This Dude's Food Truck. And I don't know. But I was going to say, if you had someone in particular that you were thinking of, Prescott E-News.
Prescott E-News? Our only real sponsor. I was going to start making up companies to be sponsors and seeing if we can.
I don't know.
That's going to be my new market test strategy.
Is just start
making up companies, and when people are like, "How can we get a hold of them?" and be like, "Oh, that's the business we need to start." So
hit us up. But as far as the list, we are going to quickly glaze over the TV shows just in the order that they are. But we're not going to delve into
we're not going to dive into those. But so we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yes. Awesome movie. I think I prefer 1 a little bit more than 2.
Definitely.
The only thing, I was going to say the only thing. Awesome movie. Still, it holds up.
Oh, yeah.
It's just as good. But Kurt Russell, man, is, Ego. The Planet Ego from the comic books.
Yeah.
It was but just awesome. Brought a lot to it.
Oh, and the story, the thing that I'll fully admit, as much of a nerd as I am, not very well versed in Guardians of the Galaxy before the movies came out.
Nor I.
And it got me to look a little harder at it, because it was very unfamiliar. I knew it existed, but that was about it.
Yeah, no, it was really awesome. Answered a lot of questions from the first movie.
Yeah.
Of why Star-Lord is the way he is because he's the son of a celestial being, which is Planet Ego, and then it was that whole twist. And very good, very good.
Yeah. I think that actually the 2 Guardians movies have some of the deeper plot lines. They're a little more, richer. Yeah, I suppose you might call that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, another thing.
A little bit more complex. Obviously, there's more characters involved. It's like a little.
Yeah, you get to know
it's like a little mini
better.
Avengers.
Right.
But
when it was like Baby Groot, that was like the cool thing because in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot sacrificed himself, but then became a little twig and became little Baby Groot at the end. So there's a lot of humor.
Absolutely.
So
Vin Diesel at his finest, really. Doesn't get much better than that.
Listen, then you have not seen Triple X, sir.
No, but I've seen Point Break 2.
Seriously.
Also titled
Fast and Furious.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy that you
I did that just for you.
You finally admitted it.
Tucker's been having a rough day, so I'm trying to
thank you.
Trying to
Thank you.
I'll be on your side a little bit more
yes.
tonight. I won't call you out so hard.
Yeah, this makes me very happy. So next we have the TV Netflix original Daredevil season 1, which they brought it. They
Game
went darker.
changer. Game changer for the MCU. Game changer for comic books on television.
Perfect casting.
Yeah.
The villain in that one was Kingpin, played by the one and only Vincent D'Onofrio.
So great.
The Full Metal Jacket man himself.
And a fantastic Kingpin. And this will probably be the only show that we spend any amount of time on in this little breakdown. Yeah. And only because, it's awesome. I mean, shows like Smallville were great.
Yeah.
But up until this point, really the only televised exposure to the comic book world has been in DC, and it's been more in like the teen drama genre.
Yeah, the WB/CW.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
And they've done okay.
Yeah.
But as far as Marvel's concerned, they had the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but this is darker.
It was more cinematic. This is what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have been if had it not been on a standard network.
Right.
Like ABC.
Yeah. And speaking of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're up next with season 2.
Season 2, episodes 1 through 19. So not all of season 2.
Sorry.
I know. Well, again, sticking true, like I said, we'll before this is all over, we're gonna post this timeline.
Yeah.
So if you ever feel inspired to, because I have heard that really after we wrap up this chapter, after the new Spider-Man film comes out later this summer, there's going to be a sizable gap in the MCU's presence in theaters, and then with the whole Disney launching their streaming service and not putting any more of their content on Netflix, there's going to be some downtime. So, if you've got 175 to 180 hours you want to burn on Marvel content,
I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Come on. That was pretty good. Anyhow, moving along.
But yeah, so you'll be able to go through all of this and experience it in the order it was intended. Yes. So we have that, and then we have the next Avengers film.
Yeah, it was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's that.
It exists.
All right. Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, with the bad guy being Ultron himself.
And that's where we.
It was a lot. It was good. I'm not going to sit there. But it seemed like the Iron Man 2 of the Avengers movies, where they were just setting up a whole lot more. They were introducing Vision and introducing Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver lasted till the end of the movie.
Yeah, didn't make it very far. Spoiler alert.
But
for a 4-year-old movie, so
yeah,
if you haven't seen it by now, not my problem. Truthfully. This is the other. There's kind of two instances in which that are referred to as the event. So, the event from the first Avengers film, where Loki and
Battle of New York
and his people come down and wreak havoc, and then there's a second event which Ultron really tries to mess things up.
Yeah, the city of Sokovia. Yes. And he lifts it up
and then
for some reason and drops it to catastrophic, be like a dinosaur ending,
He's trying to bring about an extinction level event.
Yes. But the Avengers stopped it, but a whole lot of people die and stuff in the process.
It's rough.
It's a rough event.
Yeah. It's not cool,
but it kind of comes back to play later on. So next, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2, episodes 20 through 20.
So
wrap
up
2 episodes.
Well, and again, I did check this out just a little bit, and it does. It picks up right at the after the events of Age of Ultron. So I mean, the timeline is, again, if you want to watch this entire saga unfold, this is a great way to do it from a few different perspectives.
Right. Well, and I did see the episode right before Age of Ultron, and it does pick up right.
Yeah,
it's right there, and it kind of introduces like, hey, this thing's happened in Sokovia, we got to call the Avengers. And then it's like the Avengers movie.
Yep.
And kind of then right after is what happened after the city fell.
And then
Ant-Man.
So great.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd is a natural treasure.
The fact that the MCU, I mean, in a weird kind of a way, because, you know, with their recent additional acquisitions of companies like Sony and Fox, you know, everything's kind of being wrapped up now.
Right.
So it's really just an unfair advantage that they have because they have Paul Rudd and Ryan Reynolds in their,
right.
I mean, but in their stable,
right? That they can listen if they really wanted to bring Deadpool into the Avengers, they could.
Absolutely.
I think it's good separated
for now.
For now,
I mean, again, we'll see. I think we're going to see some Deadpool X-Men crossovers, for sure. That aren't the first Deadpool X-Men crossover.
We don't talk about that.
Which was also Ryan Reynolds. So thank you, Ryan Reynolds, for redeeming yourself.
Yes. The after credits. So Ant-Man, awesome, perfect casting with Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah.
Michael Douglas, awesome. It's just a good, funny, lighthearted movie. They had a good villain in it, which was Darren Cross / Yellow Jacket. It was, it was one of the Marvel origin stories that it was like, hey, this is what's
it was necessary,
happen. But it was different because they didn't use the original Ant-Man, which was Hank Pym, but they addressed it.
They addressed it and
used him.
And I thought it was cool because, you know, when you think of the original Avengers, you know, the Ant-Man's a part of that. And so there was a lot of people who were kind of disappointed when, you know, they started, especially when the first Avengers movie came out and they hadn't yet introduced Ant-Man into the equation. You know, a lot of the purists.
Yeah. But they did in style, and it's still one of the funniest ones. And I can go back and
who
watch
is
that.
it?
Evangeline Lilly? Oh, Michael Pena. I think
he's like the best parts of that movie is that character.
When he's
so
rattling
great.
on. I saw something that was like, I want a whole recap of the whole Marvel as told by him. If I could do that, I would.
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to his publicists, and he was not willing. Well, I don't know if he wasn't willing, but they didn't respond. Yeah. So, who knows?
Next TV show is, and we were just talking about it, Jessica Jones. Darker one. I can't remember the villain's name. It's like Purple Man, but he went by a different name.
Yeah.
And one of the, which is going to contradict myself, but he's one of the best, like, villains.
He's good.
Like, it's
dark. He's bad.
Yeah.
But
he's a good bad guy.
Yeah.
He had mind control powers and can pretty much make people do whatever he wants, and he does that. And it goes dark. But yeah, really good. Not for kids.
No. Then we have
none of the Netflix ones.
2. Yeah, if it's on Netflix, it's probably not appropriate for children.
Just a heads up.
Unfortunately.
We said Daredevil season 2, introduction of Punisher. Yes.
Another solid casting.
Yes. Just yes all the way around. Really, really good. Yeah, and then does a spinoff of Punisher, which we'll get to later.
Because then comes Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3, most of the episodes.
1 through 19. So there's that. Then Captain America Civil War.
Bringing it back.
Just so much awesome in one thing. They introduced Spider-Man.
Black Panther, you know, all starting to really...
It was like Avengers 3 before Avengers 3 because there were so many.
It was like
and it was them fighting, and it was a big old thing. And the bad guy of that would be Iron Man or Captain America, whichever side you're on. No, it was Baron Zemo.
Yeah,
who tricked them into.
Well, just like usual, the government
fighting
was
each other.
The real enemy.
Yeah. Going down that path.
Oh.
Anywho, yeah, no, Civil War, awesome. Go watch it now.
Watch it again, and then
after this, go watch it.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3, episodes 20 through 22. So
yeah. And then we have Luke Cage, all of season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah.
including a little bit of a web series that was really only available on the ABC streaming site itself.
Just tied to it. Then some more.
The Iron Fist, which in my opinion is kind of the Godfather 3 of the MCU.
Listen,
right now.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
Well, okay, so you've had...
It was Iron Fist. It was one of those characters that's just...
He's kind of meh as it is.
Right.
So...
There's only so much you can do with him.
So, yeah, we have the Iron Fist, which, again, was necessary...
To set up
other things.
Being the Defenders, which is...
But when you compare it to Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, those series...
Right.
It just didn't stand up next to it.
No, in my opinion. Those other series were amazing.
They were just so good that even though Iron Fist was probably still pretty good, it felt bad.
It wasn't one of those. But they brought, because they were doing the Defenders, which was like it was a comic book series, but it was like the Netflix Avengers.
Yeah.
It was just the smaller kind of Avengers thing, which was cool. I mean, it wasn't...
Well, and in the whole thing, you're still seeing the city of New York coping with the aftermath from the original event.
They still talk about it, not as much as I would have liked in all those things. I would have liked being like,
well, listen,
watching the news about that Sokovia thing, like that city falling from the sky.
Well, crazy. But you also have to understand that, Hell's Kitchen and Manhattan are very different worlds.
Right.
So, I mean, while I'm sure it would still affect the city, just like real events that happen in New York will affect all of the city itself. They are largely different universes.
And these, but and it's all in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or whatever.
And they still do a really great job of making everything play together very well.
Yeah, I just would like to see more in my own selfish ways.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So after the Defenders, Spider-Man Homecoming. He was introduced in Civil War, brought it back. Tom Holland. He's not Tobey Maguire, but
he's also not Andrew Garfield. Now, I will say, unlike certain superheroes from other comic book universe, I don't know that I've seen a bad Spider-Man on film.
No, I can't think of it.
Because other than maybe some old TV shows from other countries and things like that, but Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland have all done a fantastic job
with what they've been doing.
My only complaint about the newest iteration of Spider-Man is Aunt May.
There's no complaints about it. Aunt
May. Well,
she keeps getting
from a continuity of the storyline situation. That's
played by the one and only Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, I mean we put up a joke when the whole 10-year challenge thing was going around a few months ago that Aunt May won that challenge hands down because somehow she went from 75 to 40 like that.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Really good movie. Villain was the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton himself. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, because the Vulture is always one of those in the Rogues Gallery. He's always like this old man with wings, and
he's not all that impressive.
He brought it in this one, and they tied it in.
Plus, it's Michael Keaton.
Yeah, and they tied it into the Battle of New York.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning part of that is that Michael Keaton's character, the Vulture, is a cleanup guy from the battle, and they get all the alien technology, and it plays into
what turned him evil.
Yeah. Well, and he got fired by Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Because Tony Stark was in charge of it. Anyways, fantastic movie. Tom Holland.
Killer.
Yeah. Doctor Strange. Well done.
It was. I had to watch it 3 times.
Poor K.
It just kind of... Anytime you're dealing with time jumps and all of this,
I see what you're,
like it just
magic.
Yeah, I had to watch it 3 times just to make sure that I was tracking everything.
I gotcha. I don't know how many times I've now watched that movie. It was on. I think it's still on Netflix and everything too. It's just a good. Benedict Cumberbatch was. I probably did not say that correctly, but
your British accent is garbage.
I'm born and raised Prescott, sir.
Makes sense then.
There you go. did a really, really good job. And again, it was another origin story, but it kind of all played into another Infinity Stone being the Time Stone, which is how he was able to defeat Dormammu. Doing a time loop. And yeah, really, really good movie. And for what it was, because there was a lot of special effects using magic and sorcery and stuff, you bought it. You're just like, yep, all right.
Well, again,
That's
a lot
happening.
of the other, most of the other MCU films are more real. I mean, it's not real, but you start introducing magic and things just get a little...
Well, it was kind of like Thor when you're just like going to, using magic and kind of that in space, and, you kind of go, okay. And I should say, kind of backing up a little bit to the first Ant-Man movie, the first Ant-Man movie was the first introduction of the quantum realm.
Yes.
Which is kind of important.
That's why it's going to play a huge role.
That's why I was like, I had to kind of go back for a minute.
Yeah.
The quantum realm being, he had to shrink so small that it was another realm where time kind of doesn't exist.
Outside of time.
It's outside of time, and there, it's a big thing, and there's time vortexes and everything. But in Doctor Strange, which is what made me think of it, is that was one of the realms that he kind of watches over, kind of thing, and kind of goes through, is able to travel through. Where are we at?
Punisher. And we've got the Punisher, season 1.
Brent Castle bringing it.
The Runaways, which is,
gotta be honest,
a lot more. It's, as far as the streaming content is concerned, it's the furthest outside of the story that we're all familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it and know very little about it, but that's not one of the ones, honestly, that I have a whole lot of know-how.
Yeah.
But there you go.
So, we have The Runaways, and then we get to
Black Panther,
a movie that has changed the game for comic book movies from a legitimacy standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Black director, obviously predominantly black cast.
Yeah.
First to win an Oscar.
Out of those, yes, because Marvel just made history again. The first Marvel Oscar that went was Spider-Man. They won Best Animated.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They won the first one.
Yeah.
But Black Panther took a whole bunch of categories from costume to
score to I mean, there was
they were nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Really, really good. One of the best, probably my top 5 Marvel villains being Killmonger.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Plus, Michael B. Jordan's just.
I was going to say Michael B. Jordan is, becoming one of my favorite actors up there, from Creed to everything. But it was one of those villains, and we'll kind of get back to it when one of our big baddies that we're leading up to, because there's the secret city of Wakanda that he gets in charge of, and he's just saying that it shouldn't be a secret. The resources that they have and everything shouldn't be a secret. So it's one of those ones at the end of it, was he wrong? He was not wrong. How he went about it
might have been
questionable, but was he wrong?
No.
Because even at the end of it, and it's kind of one of those weird...
So you're saying...
The only plot thing... I'm getting there. We're getting around to...
All right.
So, how he went about, proving his point or whatever. But even at the end of the movie, Black Panther himself, King was like, he wasn't wrong. We got to share our resources. So you're kind of like, well, all right, well, I guess he got
for the
defeated
good
for
the good of humanity.
Right, they need to share their resources and everything because his
super
storyline
cool
was
alien technology.
Well, his storyline was really cool because his father was one of the princes of Wakanda, whatever. But something ends up happening to his dad, and he's left as a little kid all alone. Wakanda left him, and so he grew up as a bitter kid that wanted, that Wakanda shouldn't have left him behind, and so that was the point of. The whole him becoming a villain, but he wasn't wrong in his thought process that they have all these great resources and everything that could help humanity, and but fantastic villain.
Yeah. one of my favorites, hands down. It was fun to watch too.
Yeah.
Like just everything about it, you could see that like, listen, the other stuff ain't bad.
Yeah.
But just leaps and bounds, just visually more stunning than the other ones.
Movie. It's on Netflix too. Go watch it.
And then we've got
We're gonna go through a whole bunch
season
of these
5
really
of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There's that.
Episodes 1 through 19. Cloak and Dagger, which is another one that I'm not.
I watched the
super
first little bit of
into.
it. I kind of lost. It was really good. It was on ABC Family or Freeform or whatever they're calling it now. Watched the first couple of episodes. They were like hour long. So after a while, like I just kind of lost.
Yeah.
Not because of it not being good, just because time wise. Next, Jessica Jones season 2. There's that. So good.
Inhumans.
So there's
Which is
that.
another more obscure.
Yeah.
And again, Cloak and Dagger, the Inhumans, and the Runaways. Again, more outside the.
Yeah. So if you're digging, it's there.
Who knows? That could be a huge part of Phase 4.
Yeah, maybe.
Or are we ending Phase 4 and they're going into Phase 5 after
like
the next Spider? But I think maybe that stuff could have a big impact on the next phases of the MCU.
Right.
So it's worth mentioning again. And then Punisher season 2.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, there's that Netflix. Then Thor Ragnarok, game changer in my opinion.
Yeah, you've seen the relationship between Hulk and Thor a little bit, but here is where
it's like a weird buddy cop movie.
Yeah, where they really get tight.
Yeah, and it was really funny for the Thor movies, which I know was important to them, that they wanted to bring some more humor into it, and it was kind of Guardians of the Galaxy-esque.
Well, there's a tie-in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's the setup for the big
to
next
do
Avengers movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp, awesome movie. They brought back everybody, including Evangeline Lilly, who was the first one, and they set up her becoming the Wasp.
Yeah, they
this was really
locked that in this one, and again, really important character development as the story continues.
Yeah, and it was kind of tied in at the very, very end to the next one.
Yeah,
because it had a lot to do with the quantum realm. They had to rescue Hope's mom that had gotten stuck.
She got stuck in the quantum realm.
Way back.
Whatever, 30
in the 70s.
Yeah, 30-something years ago.
Yeah, so that was the whole plot, was to go rescue her from the quantum realm and the significance of the quantum realm. But then at the very end of the movie was relation to the next big movie, which actually came out before this movie, but time-wise.
Yes.
Chronologically, which is
the Infinity War.
I was going to say number 1, but the next movie's not.
It's not,
War 2.
Yeah.
But they're tied together.
So we have Infinity War.
Amazing movie. It's what all these movies have led up to this point.
They've spent over a decade building this up.
Which is Thanos. And the big baddie that, again, kind of like my Killmonger thing. That he believes that we're... have infinite resources, where the universe is running out of resources,
and there's just too many things.
What you think, all you people think when you're in the Starbucks line, that there's just too many people.
Thanos takes that to
the crazy thing that
to an extreme.
That he collects all of the Infinity Stones, which have been laid out with all the previous movies, and with that the snap
heard round the universe.
Yes, and he wipes out
half of all human existence,
which includes
not just human existence.
Yeah,
all existence, all creatures and beings. 50% are gone.
Yeah, and that includes a good number of Avengers that just turn to dust and go away. And
even
I was like, we could sit there and delve really into this movie.
Even Nick Fury.
I was like, Nick
who
Fury
sends an emergency page
to
just before he's turned to dust.
A page. Like a pager.
Like a pager.
Sends a page to...
Kids, if you're watching this and you don't know what we're talking about, ask your parents.
It's like a beeper, a pager. Little thing that you used to carry.
Yeah, and then find a payphone to call people back on.
Which is... Yeah, no. But it sends it to Captain Marvel.
Yeah. All we see is Captain Marvel's logo on the pager screen as Nick Fury
turns to dust.
Is floating off into nothingness.
Which sets up the next
Endgame.
Yeah. Well, it's setting up to Captain Marvel, which comes out
Captain Marvel
Thursday.
Thursday comes out day after tomorrow. If you're watching this live,
yeah,
I'm probably gonna check that out sometime this weekend. Definitely before next Tuesday.
Please do, because that's
that's what we'll be reviewing next week.
But then, she's going to play an intricate part. Well, and the movie takes place in the 90s, so it explains the page of Captain Marvel. Then it's going to take place, but she's going to play a big part in Avengers Endgame.
She's gonna have to,
which is coming out in April.
Is it April?
It's April. Wow, I know. It's Endgame.
Busy time.
Yeah. So, yeah. So what else is new?
Yeah,
I was like, we ran through that.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest there, but again, this was just supposed to be a general timeline of everything that has come before, so that you can catch up and be fully prepared for what is to come.
The Endgame.
The Endgame.
Well, and go see Captain Marvel, everything. But we'll put the list up and
I'll post this list that we're working off of here.
Shoot some comments in there. Which one's your favorites?
Yeah, or
questions.
We did we did a pretty extensive amount of research to come up with this list, and did our best to make sure that it was accurate. But if we missed something, let us know.
Yeah. Or thoughts, concerns about that. Questions, if you have
use us as a catalyst to your next argument on the internet.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
So, there you go.
So I am going to upload both last week's and this week's episode as one continuous thing, so that again, if you want to try and digest all of it, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. Put it on our page and then our YouTube as well.
YouTube page.
Yeah.
So,
and if you haven't liked the YouTube page, go over and like it.
Yeah.
Give a shout.
All right.
Drop a line. All that stuff.
Gotta go.
It's time to go.
Until next week. He's Tucker.
He's the Beard.
We appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week with Captain Marvel.
See ya.
Peace.